Okay. Morning, afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Excited for Saturday. We certainly are. We feel we've had a really good week of preparation. We've had three, I guess it's come down to Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday practices. We'll practice again today. Quick little walkthrough tomorrow. The players have done a tremendous job of getting prepared. The coaches have done a great job schematically of, I think, putting ourselves in the best possible position we can be for this game. We have, two new coordinators, with Coach Nansen and Coach Pow. So when you're talking about special teams and defense. So I know they've been working very hard with their staffs. And then, I can't ask more from our players at this point in time. First week of school. Guys have been, first 2 weeks of school, I should say, and they've been outstanding in that regard, handling all their business. So we're excited about the game. CBS Sports, or CBS, I should say, and be able to be on the national spotlight. It should be a good opportunity for our kids.
How critical is that for you to be in that early window nationally and to show the nation something about this program?
Yeah, I don't think it's right now about showing the nation about our program. We're just building our program to where we want it to go or be one day. We have a lot of young players. We have a lot of new players. We're working very hard to have a really good game. And what I'm excited for is for our players to be able to have their family members see it, for nobody to have to stay up late to watch it, and just if they're living on the East Coast. But it's an opportunity really for our kids to just go out there, play their best football. Our coaches coach their best football they can coach in this game. And then we're going to go out there and play regardless of what station or regardless of who's televising it.
Are you a believer that the first game sets the tone for the rest of the season, or what's your belief with that first game?
Not really. I think the first game is the first game. There's 12 of them. We really can't make the game any more than it is. It's not the last game of the year. It's not the Super Bowl. It's game one. And it's our job to build off of, this game, try to get better the next game, try to get better the next game, all the way through. There's 12 of them. A lot of teams are playing a lot of good teams. We're playing a 12-2 San Diego State team. Oregon is playing Georgia. Utah is playing Florida. There's a lot of Notre Dame is playing Ohio State. There's a lot of great football games, and there's going to be a team that wins and a team that loses. But that doesn't define your season. Does not define your program. It's a game that we're going to go out there and play our best football and see what happens.
I think you said last year going into the game that San Diego State was one of the highest percentage of blitzing teams, stunting teams. Are they kind of the same blueprint on defense?
Yeah, their defense hasn't changed really at all in terms of what we expected them to do last year and what they're doing. Now, this is game one, so maybe there's something different that we don't know of or we're not aware of at this point in time. I don't know why they would change too much. They were 11th in the country in taking the ball away last year. They were 3rd in the country in defense and rush defense. I mean, they're a very, very good defensive football team. They've been that way for a long time. And I believe that whether it be with Rocky Long or Kirk Maddox running defense, Brady being the head coach, they're good. They're very, very good on defense, and I would expect it to be a very similar defense.
What do you think about that challenge going up against your offensive line?
It's going to be a challenge to go against really any defense that we're going to see this year. I expect to see a lot of really good defenses this season. We know that it's a great opportunity for us to play and be challenged by what we know of is a very, very active front, and we're going to have to be prepared for that. Coach Carroll has done a very good job over the last couple of weeks of working with our players to be prepared for schematically what they do and the uniqueness of their defense. And I think our players, the 5 offensive linemen plus, the other couple that'll probably get some opportunities are all prepared for that.
Jedd, for our pregame show, Jedd, can I get an offensive defensive scouting report?
on San Diego State?
I think that offensively you're going to see a team that has a new quarterback coming in from Virginia Tech who's been very successful. We've talked about him already. He's fast. He can throw. He's played a lot of games. We know that he was, played at Oregon, played at Virginia Tech. They've got some very threatening players. Number 15, number 45 are both very threatening players. They make a lot of plays on the field. They're going to be a team that, they're always going to be a team that knows how to run the football. They've always shown that. But I believe that they're going to try to be pretty explosive on the perimeter as well. Defensively, they play a 3-3-5 scheme where they play with, what they refer to as the Aztec, number 33, who is really going to be a hybrid safety or linebacker. Expect him to do a lot of things to disrupt the game. And then they have a outstanding front seven. And we know that we got our work cut out for us against that front seven, and our players are excited about that opportunity.
Jedd, going back to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago about being under center less with the quarterbacks, how will that dramatically change what we see from this offense? Are we still going to see a lot of the NFL concepts that we had talked about last year in terms of the quarterback being under center?
Yeah, I don't see us being too different than what we've been. I guess if you were to say I bet you the Rams were a little more under center with Goff than they were with Stafford. But the scheme doesn't change that much. I think the Bengals were probably a little more in gun with Joe Burrow this past year. I don't know that exact numbers. I would say it'd be very similar to that. I don't think under center or gun has anything to do with scheme. I think it just has to do with where you're putting your quarterback and what runs and you want to run out of it. When it comes to true, what you're asking your receivers to run, what you're asking your tight ends to do, what you're asking the type of pass protection or the run game, for us, I would say it's really going to come down to the execution of the plays, the details, the fundamentals, whether a quarterback's in gun or under center. I don't expect what we call to be very different.
You mentioned number 33. Is that kind of the guy that your offense has to be aware of when he's on the football field?
Well, there's a numerous groups of guys that you have to be aware of on that team, numerous players. I think 54, 55, 61, 91. They're all good players. They've got a lot of very good players on their team. 33 is just a guy that shows up, that he disrupts the plays a lot, and he's very good. So we're always going to be aware of him.
Do you go into a game in your offensive game planning and saying, like, for instance, we need to get Speedy Luke 10 touches, or is it kind of a thing that as the game goes you figure it out?
Yeah, well, it's certainly through our process of game planning during the week, we talk about matchups and we talk about personnel and how we're going to utilize our personnel for a given game versus theirs. It's a little bit unique because we've never seen Speedy really play a game with us, or T-Mac play a game with us, or McCowling play a game with us, or Jonah Coleman, and you start going through, let's call it our team. It's tough to really say right now, week one, that we're going to, asterisk certain plays for certain guys, because we really have to start getting a feel for who they are. I would say moving forward at some point in time, you would say, hey, let's make sure we get X amount of touches for a certain guy. Right now, I think we're really just trying to figure out who our team is, and really that process of getting to know our own personnel while we're building this thing.
Which coaches are going to be on the field and which coaches are going to be in the press box?
Mostly all the coaches are on the field. Coach Doherty will be in the press box on offense. Coach Cecil will be on the press box on defense, and our graduate assistants will be in the press box as well.
Are you bringing the whole team to San Diego?
No. We're traveling with about 80 players. Something like that, 78, 80, somewhere in that range.
You didn't have that many oars on the depth chart. One of them was the number 2 quarterback with Noah and Jordan. How did you see that dynamic kind of playing out over the course of the season?
Honestly, I would hope that neither one of them have to go in the game. That would be the ideal situation, right? It's one of those setups that you just hope that you can keep your starting quarterback healthy as long as possible, as much as possible. If there's a situation where our quarterback does have to leave the game, we'll have to make the decision on, is this a short-term leave or a longer-term leave? Is this a equipment malfunction, or is this an injury? And then we'll make the decision on who will go in at the spot.
Jedd, what's your philosophy on a spy for a running quarterback? You work with Cam Newton, a lot of teams in the NFL would try to run a spy with him. Is it effective?
I guess so. I don't know. You're always going to have to be aware of quarterbacks that are dual threat guys that can throw and run. A little bit different in college than in pro football, where in pro football most of your quarterbacks that you're going against are probably more pocket passers than not. I would say in college football it's probably the opposite. So you're going to defend a college quarterback different than a pro quarterback.
What's the status of Trey Stoops?
He should be good to go. Don't know how many reps or what that'll look like, but I was told today that he'll be cleared.
Do you think that he'll start then, or is that going to be something?
That we'll have to see we'll have to see how he moves today, tomorrow, and Saturday before we make a decision on the start. But it does sound very promising in regards to his ability to participate in the game.
Which would put, if he didn't, it would be Isaiah?
Rutherford will be the starter. Rutherford will start, and then we'll see what that looks like after that.
What's the mood of the team right now as you get ready for the first game of the season?
The team is anxious to get started. They've really embraced what we've asked them to do. We've talked about it was going to be a grind all summer long. They embraced that grind. We've asked them to increase the passion that they play with. They've really embraced playing with passion, and we've asked them to trust the process, and they've done that. Now it comes down to it's game day come Saturday, and they're going to have to play each play and make it its own separate entity. They can't play each play and be affected by the play before, and if they do that, I believe that we'll be able to continue to build this program the way we want it to.
Are there any positions that are still kind of a little bit unsettled in your mind that you might maybe kind of figure out over the first handful of games?
Not at this moment.
How do you feel about linebacker, just kind of beyond Jerry Roberts, that veteran?
Yeah, I think Colby Cage right now is playing at a good level. We've been able to take him from a safety when he arrived, and put some weight on him and get him in a position to be able to play linebacker. I think you've got Jacob Manu, Ammon Allen have both done a really nice job coming in backup roles. Malik Reed, similar situation. Back Anthony Solomon. So we've got probably 6 to 7 guys that have shown up in that world right now. But Colby and Jerry have done a good job of putting themselves in position to be the starters.
What do you like about just Colby's story? Because he signed Arizona before you were hired, and he switches positions and has worked his way up to be the starter.
Well, I think that the thing with Colby that we've really appreciated is, he got here, signed before we arrived, but has never been coached by anyone but us. Showed up, ready to go. And we felt like the safety position wasn't going to be the best position for him and what we were trying to get done. With that, we asked him to put on about 18 pounds, which he's done. We've asked him to embrace a different position group, seeing things from one level closer, to the line of scrimmage, which means things happen a little bit quicker in that regard. He's had a fantastic attitude. And, I think Aaron Van Horn, as our defensive graduate assistant, obviously Coach Nansen, and then even last year's staff did a great job of just helping him gain confidence that you can play this position and this is a good position for you. And he's really embraced that.
One more question.
When the clock struck midnight last night, it seemed like there was a lot of activity in the recruiting world. What were you guys up to?
Yeah, it's the way the rule works on September 1st, 2024s can start being contacted. And, It was wild mayhem, man. My phone was going nuts. So, that's what makes it great. That's what makes college football special. You have to love that part of it. You have to love the idea of you can start building your team out on September 1st of 2022 on what you'd like it to look like for 2024. So that's what kind of happened. You could see, obviously, I'm sure the Twitterverse went crazy. And if you're these kids and you're sophomores, I guess you'd be, sophomores or juniors, and you start getting reached out to, what would be a class of 24? They'd be juniors now, right? So, the juniors now, and they're getting ready for their first football season as a junior, and all of a sudden, Power 5 coaches and coaches in Division I football are reaching out to you. It's got to be a great feeling. It's got to be a great feeling for them, and certainly a great feeling for us to be able to talk to their parents and the kids and see how excited they were, even if it was 12:30 at night. Okay, thank you.